So before we get into our topics, I do have two things I wanted to bring up. Okay, two things, and then you can jump in and you can let me know your thoughts on these things. Okay,
Yeah.
and one of them is Angel Reese. I don't know if you've seen recently, but Angel Reese is like leading the ESPN ranking for well, this is before the game, but she's leading for rookie of the year. Like she's number one for to
Yes.
win rookie of the year. That just annoyed me.
I mean,
that just I
it's,
have been
it's just pathetic.
I have
It's just
been
really.
like super neutral on the whole thing. Like, yeah, sure, man. Angel Reese is really good in her own right. Like, we're not gonna take anything away from Angel Reese, but they keep moving the goalposts.
Oh
So
yeah,
what what
100%.
I what I heard first, people were like, well, Angel Reese's team is doing better than Caitlin Clark's team. That's okay. I'm actually okay with that. So if you want to base your vote off of who has the better impact on the team, I'm actually okay with that. That being said, as of right now, the Indiana Fever are seventh or sixth. I'm sorry, they're sixth. They're like 5 games ahead of the Chicago Sky. After that game against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, where Caitlin Clark scored like 31 points and had 12 assists, it should be over. Like it should be unanimous that Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year. No one has ever said Dennis Rodman is better than Michael Jordan because he grabs a lot of rebounds. Like that's just not how it. That's
It's
not
not
how
a
this
thing.
works. That's not how this works. Caitlin Clark, with all due respect, and remember, I am saying this with all due respect, Caitlin Clark is far and away better than Angel Reese. She's a better shooter. She's a better passer. She has better impact on the game. Is Angel Reese a better defender than Caitlin Clark? For sure, absolutely she is. But if you watch Angel Reese, man, sometimes she just be throwing up the ball. She'll just throw up the ball down in the paint and then go grab the rebound. She's a great rebounder and a great defender and a great energy person. That's why she wore the Ben Wallace or the um, Dennis Rodman fit to that game. She knows the player that she's compared to. So I just want to kind of get your thoughts on that.
I think that the WNBA is really struggling with accepting that a white chick from Iowa is going to get them to the promised land. I think they're just struggling. I mean, we've talked about Joel and I have talked about this on multiple occasions. The NBA, because it is a 99% of your best players over the last 20, 30 years have been people of color. In the WNBA, 75% of them are gay. I mean, I don't know the way to say it. I mean, they are gay black women. That's the majority of the WNBA. That you're in a situation where a girl from Iowa comes in who's straight, who is Caucasian, and she makes everyone more money. And even if you're her equal or you're better than her, Asia Wills is better than a better basketball player than Caitlin Clark. No one can touch her in popularity.
Yeah.
And women are the biggest haters of other women. They just are. They're the biggest haters. And so like they can't handle that someone that's a different skin color that likes men that's from Iowa is far more popular. They just can't handle it. And you know, this dude, there's so Cheryl Swoops 2 weeks ago
I
did a
seen that.
podcast
I seen
and
that, bro. I
dude,
seen it.
and she complimented the Indiana Fever and called out three
Three
players.
players besides Caitlin Clark.
Yes. I mean, you just look like an ignorant person. I mean, you honestly just sound ignorant. It's like you can hate Tom Brady in the NFL, but to deny Tom Brady's
Greatness.
it's like, it's just insane. It's like we're living in this alternate universe and it's so transparent.
Yeah.
Angel Reese cannot shoot.
Yeah. Her
If
game
you,
her game
if,
isn't nice to watch at all.
no,
But she's a
if
good
you,
hustle player. Like she's a great hustle player. Even watching her in college, you can see the impact that she had in college. Like you can really see the
Yes,
impact that she has, even still now. But I just don't think this should be a conversation. Like I just
dude,
she
it's,
should
it's
she should be in the
ridiculous.
conversation, but she shouldn't be leading all votes for the rookie of the year.
You know what it honestly reminds me of, Joel? It really reminds me of when when Jason Kidd and Glenn Robinson were rookies. Okay. Glenn Robinson was a more dominant college basketball player than Jason Kidd. That's not he was a man amongst boys at Purdue. And they went to the pros, and people were like, I think Jason Kidd's actually the better long-term player. But everyone was kind of uncomfortable with like, but he's averaging 20 points. Glenn Robinson's still doing his thing. And they end up tying for rookie of the year. Now, in hindsight, you look back at it and say, who had a better career? Well, one is one of the greatest point guards of all time,
Yeah,
an NBA championship.
great
Blah,
coach.
blah. Glenn Robinson was out of the league by age 30. I mean, it's ridiculous. Angel Reese is not, there's a good chance she goes down as she was a good player. That is a very real, and that's not an insult. She was a good player in the WNBA. But the simple fact that they set Caitlin Clark up to fail to start by having an insane schedule out of the gates, they set her up to fail, like right out of the gates. They started off like 2-8, 2-7, and they've essentially won 70% of their games since their first 10.
Yeah,
And now they're like talking about could they, it's a joke that the Chicago Sky are even being talked about as a playoff team. Dude, they're like 10 games under 500.
yeah, I know. That was as of like right before the All Star break, but they were doing fairly well
No,
before the All Star
dude,
break.
right now, they're the AC. Basically, what's happened is 6, 7 teams have ran away with it so much that there's an eighth team that no one even thinks they're going to get to 500.
Yeah,
And they're looking at the schedule. They're looking at Indiana Fever schedule, player today, my understanding, that they have a potential to still finish in the top four. They're
yeah.
looking at based on how they're trending.
If you look at it right now, like if you look at it, you remember Diane? I think her name's Diana
Diane
Taurasi.
Taurasi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said right before the season started that reality is gonna hit these rookies. Basically, take it talking to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Her team, uh, Caitlin Clark's team is like 2 games behind her, behind her team. And then, so let's say she jumps the Phoenix Mercury. That means that in Caitlin Clark's first year, she got her team right next to the Las Vegas Aces, who have won the last 2 championships.
Yes.
Stop. This has nothing to do with the outside stuff that you guys are talking about. It has not.
Indiana
It doesn't
Fever
matter.
had the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
That usually goes to in all sports the worst team in the league. They got the first pick in the draft. Now, before the first season's done, they're like, they could finish in the top four. Do you think they could make a title run? Chicago Sky had the second pick in the draft. They're still awful. I
Yeah.
don't care if you make the playoffs. If you are winning less than 40% of your games, you are not that is not some huge improvement. That is isn't.
Last thing I want to say about this, um, I see a lot of people get, or yeah, a lot of men getting flack for being Caitlin Clark. A lot of people are new to sports that are watching the WNBA. We don't care what you we don't
No.
care. You could have your in football. To me, you could. My quarterback could have his nails painted, his hair pink. As long as you go out there and you're trying to win, we don't care.
I
Okay,
don't care.
for those of you guys that are brand new to sports, we do care. Okay, at the end
Dude,
of the day, Caitlin Clark is the reason why I'm mainly focused on the WNBA is because of Caitlin Clark, man.
yes.
That is the main reason and it's gonna have it. Usually, will have a trickle down effect. Nobody has to kiss Caitlin Clark's ass. Like
No.
her getting kind of like her opponents getting physical with her. That's very normal. Like I don't think nobody's mistreating her. That's very normal. It's like checking her, right? That's okay. But the blunt hate. You guys are flying private. You guys have never flown private. Okay, that's because of that Iowa girl. Just stop hating. That's all I'm saying.
So, couple of things. You bring up multiple great points there. I just want a final thing on this. There's this subculture that wants sport fans. I don't think they're actually sport fans. Okay, I honestly do not believe they're actually fans of sports. There's this whole subculture that wants to make things like whether someone's gay or straight or how attractive they are. They want to make that thing. I mean, I get articles on a daily basis that make references to was Caleb Williams holding hands with Lil Durk when he visited the team?
God.
Does he have did he have his nails painted? Dude, I'm just telling you right now, if Caleb Williams is the best Bears quarterback of all time, and he comes out as gay with 15 cats, paints his nails, and his boyfriend is a cyclops, a cyclops child, I don't give a
If Caleb
I could
Williams, if
care
Caleb Williams
less.
gets the Bears to the playoffs this season, I'm painting my nails orange.
And,
100%.
and
A
and
hundred
one
percent.
last thing, this is a joke, so don't any women that watch this do not get all like freaking sensitive here. But Joel and I did have an ongoing joke that last week when Sophie Cunningham posted a picture on Instagram that she was my new favorite player. So I'll just be honest.
I see that, and really, I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know
I didn't
who it was.
I didn't know. But I was like, that's an outfit right there.
But speaking of players that you don't know, I've tried to pay attention to Sparks, but Cameron Brick got injured right before the All Star
Oh,
break, so that
okay.
sucked. But Rikia Jackson, she is scoring. She 38% draft. No idea where she played last year. Um, but again, we're just talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and there are other good rookies out there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I've said this before. Caitlin Clark, yes, she is doing phenomenal. She has done X, Y, and Z. Two things: got to cut the turnovers down. Winning basketball, like her turnover to assist ratio, it can't be where it is now. I mean, honestly, it's almost 1.5 to 1. It
Yeah,
literally like she gets 7 assists, she gets 5 turnovers.
I
Can't be like that.
I agree.
And
There's so many variables that go into that. I feel like
I
she's their
don't
point guard.
disagree.
She's doing everything out there. I don't know. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but
No,
yeah,
it's
she
fine.
does. She
And
definitely needs to turn down.
the turnovers, that it help. And then secondly, um, I would like her 3 point from just an efficiency standpoint. If it could start getting closer to that 35 plus range, because there is, some math in basketball and 32, 33. Now, part of the reason that is she shoots from such a great distance.
Yeah,
But if that's what she's going to do, then maybe she takes less of those shots. I'm
yeah.
just saying, like it is,
I don't
there's an
know how much.
efficiency standpoint.
I don't know how much you've since the All Star break, but she's clearly figured out something. Yeah,
Absolutely.
she has
Absolutely.
been on a tear since the All Star break, and you can kind of tell she's figured something out. She's got used to like the reality. She is just going by ladies. Like she is just faster than them, man.
Well,
So
dude, in her first like 10 games when they start off 2-9, she was at like 28, 29% from three. She's up to almost like 33% for the year. She was at 37, now she's up to 40. So yes, this is all happening over like a 20 game
yeah,
period, a rookie year. So I'm not going to ever be the person that says Caitlin Clark is a future Hall of Famer. And then the next game, she has one bad game or a bad week. And it's like, she's a bum and they need to cut her. Like, that's just ridiculous.
yeah.
That's hyperbolic Stephen A. Smith garbage. I don't care anything about that. I'm saying based on her rookie year, she's made a number of strides, and that's the next point. And when she does that, when that happens, and it's not going to be Angel Reese, but it could be Angel Wilson, it could be one of these other people. And then we're like, we have truly a person that's going like this with Caitlin Clark, like Magic and Bird. Now we can lift the entire WNBA to another level. But it's not going to be Angel Reese missing
they don't
2-foot
even
shot.
they don't even play the same position. It shouldn't really be rivalry. Okay.